Committee. Today is Wednesday, November 20th. It's a little after 1. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Conwell.
Present.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Ms. Stevens. Ms. Stevens is absent at the moment. Ms. Turner.
Present.
Mr. Miller.
Present.
You have a quorum.
All right, and let the record reflect that we have Councilman Byrne in attendance.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that Councilwoman Stevens will not be in attendance today. Is there a second?
Second.
That she
Right.
be excused? Yes, okay.
She be excused. So it's
Okay.
been moved by Conwell, seconded by Turner. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Just to let the audience know, we do not have to excuse council members from committee, but we'd like to do so, just for the record. Approval of the minutes from the October 30th meeting. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, moved by Sweeney, seconded by Miller. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Right. We have several matters referred to the committee today. There are a lot of ARPA applications, so there's no public comment. Is there
No, there's
anyone
no
for
public comment. No one
today?
has signed in.
But thank you. Ms. Lou has been absent for a little while, so she'll get us on Tuesday. A lot of matters referred to the committee today. There are a lot of ARPA applications or proposals before us. I think we're taking care of those first before county business. I would just like to say anyone that is here to speak on behalf of an ARPA application, once the Madam Clerk reads it into the record, if you're responsible, please come up to the mic, turn on the green button, state your name for the record. All ARPA applications, that's a tongue twister, needs 3 readings. So looking to Dale Miller, if they go through committee, they will actually pass when?
December 3rd,
Right,
our last main meeting of the year.
all right. Madam Clerk, if you can read the first item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0390, awarding a total sum not to exceed $15,000 to Friendly Inn Settlement Incorporated for the HVAC capital upgrade project from the District 3, District 7, and District 9 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
Is there anyone here to present? Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Yolanda Armstrong, President and CEO of the Friendly Inn Settlement. I feel like I was just here.
You were?
And having been blessed this opportunity to come back to speak on behalf of our HVAC system, I thank you so kindly for putting us on this list. And I know we desperately need the help, so I do appreciate it. And we're working on the additional funds to go with these funds so that we can have something in place by February,
Okay.
a new system.
Okay, so at the last committee, you stated, and I could be wrong, I thought you had most of the funds for the HVAC system.
Yes,
Okay, so this was the gap.
yes,
So if this moves through, you will be able to put a new HVAC
yes.
system, not a repair.
In
but a-
February. No, a new system.
All right. Any questions from my colleagues?
Through the chair, if
Thank you so much.
Ms. Armstrong would just indulge us for a second and give us a little background about Friendly Inn.
Okay. Well, the Friendly Inn Settlement, as you all may know, we just celebrated 150 years of service here in Cuyahoga County, not just in the central area. Our organization is a social service agency that service over 8,000 folks in the central area and beyond. Our organization, like today, is giving out food to families in need through our food pantry, which we have twice a week throughout the month. Not too many pantries do it twice a week, but we do, and we have plenty of people to serve. We also have programming that go on in our building with community partners. One of our community partners is our court programming that we have with juvenile justice, but then also we have a SNAP program every Thursday from 8 to 4 p.m. We're servicing families right there in the central area with the SNAP program. This is the most need in regards to why we need to have a new HVAC system, because like today, you cannot go into that particular room because it's freezing. right now because of the HVAC system needing repairs, and we are not trying to put a Band-Aid on it. We really need a new system. We received 2 quotes because of the efforts that we put in a grant with the Mandel Foundation to assist us with this matter, and they know it is a need. I think when I was here before, I was to discuss all of the other things that were happening, and we were being given dollars on behalf of some of our other programmatic things that we had. But right now, the pressing issue is our HVAC, and we're excited to be able to get this taken care of in February. Some of the other program services is addressing infant mortality as it relates to our Help Me Grow program, our Moms First program, as well as our Parents as Teachers program. We have a youth leadership program where we serve kids after school, and as you know, that's always a struggle as well when we do not have the CMSD funding that we once had. We are continuing that program regardless, because our goal is to make sure our kids do not end up in the juvenile justice system at the end of this year. So with that being said, we continue to provide our after-school programming to our youth, ages 6 to 17. And then we also have our community-based services program, which I see you have on this list that we have in conjunction or partnership with CMHA. So those are the services that we provide and more. And we just thank you so kindly for hearing us out for today.
Absolutely, and through the chair, just finally, I want to thank Council Member Sweeney, Conwell,
Definitely.
and Jones for also recognizing the value of an institution like Friendly Inn for the historic Central community. And thanks for your support.
Thank you so very much.
You know, that's one of the things that goes through my head as being the Health and Human Service Chair. There's always been problems with nonprofits when they need repairs, and there's no funding out there. So thank COVID in a way for the ARPA dollars that came down so we could be able to help many of the service agencies that take care of those that are most vulnerable in our communities. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions from? All
And Madam
right.
Chair, before we take a vote, we do have a proposed substitute for consideration for this
Okay.
item.
All right. District 8 is, so now it's, okay. So I'll make a motion to move the proposed substitute in front of us. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Conwell, seconded by Miller. All in favor to move the proposed substitute in front of us, say aye. Aye. Okay, now we're working from the proposed substitute. The original substitute was 15,000. I'm seeing the proposed substitute is for 20. So I don't know if you were aware of that.
No, I
That is
wasn't.
from District 8.
Trevor's coming forward.
All right, Trevor, please come up.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. Trevor Mackler, County Council staff. That's correct. Council President Jones requested to the clerk that an additional $5,000 be added from District 8 ARPA Community Grant Funds, taking the total award from $15,000 to $20,000.
Any other questions in regards, any questions that you may have about the increase?
No, just thank you. Praise God.
All right, I'll make a motion to move R20240390 to the full council under second reading. Is there a as proposed?
Yeah, second.
All right, moved by Conwell, seconded by Miller. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Ms. Armstrong.
you.
All right, Madam Clerk, if you could read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0391, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the YMCA of Greater Cleveland for the Parker Hannafin Downtown YMCA Financial Assistance Program from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good afternoon. My name
Good
is
afternoon.
Tiffany Fox. I'm the Senior Vice President of Branch Operations for the YMCA of Greater Cleveland, and then also have the responsibility of the Parker Hannafin YMCA. So not sure I can follow that. I was like, wow, that was just a good feel-good
Yes.
moment. You know, we white people love those moments, so feel free to, keep that going if you if you should feel the need. But before I talk a little bit, I want to share, I'll talk about the financial assistance program, but I want to share a little bit about who we're serving and the impact that we're making in the Cleveland area that you may not be aware of, that's happening at the Parker Hannafin Y. As you know, our downtown location is not like our traditional branches that are in some of our neighborhoods, but I will tell you that we are certainly making an impact. Wanted you to know that we serve 2,531 members at our downtown location. And last year, we had about 52,107 check-ins. So that many times people are coming in, swiping their card, utilizing the Y for various services. In terms of our swim lessons, so our traditional swim lessons, in the last year, we've served 373 participants there. But additionally, this year, we launched a partnership with CMSD that we said that we wanted to teach every fourth grader in CMSD schools how to swim. And so there have been some other partners that have joined in with that, but we started the pilot in the spring of this year, and we served 230 students from 5 schools. We're back again in September. We've got 5 more schools, and we'll continue that until we get through all of the fourth grades. In with that program, not only are we providing the instruction for them, but we're also providing swimsuits, swim caps, and towels. We didn't want to have any barriers for our children to be able to come to us and take swim lessons. And we know that there are times where, we didn't want to, parents not to be able to, afford a swimsuit, or the child forgot a towel, so we keep the towels there for them, so there's no issue there. In addition to that, I don't know if you all are aware that, so we also provide swim lessons to the students at Davis High School. They come over to us, and so we're hoping that correlates into our lifeguard academy, and that they, want to progress through that to become lifeguards. We know just in overall the importance of teaching children to swim and swim safety, guarding our waterfronts, and I know even outside of the YMCA pools, trying to find lifeguards for municipal pools for families to get out and enjoy. We are the partner for the Foundry. When we have individuals that want to join their rowing teams or different activities, and they may need, they need to kind of freshen up or get more robust swim skills, we partner with them. They send them to us, and we provide that. We are the home training center for Kids That Try. It's a triathlon program for inner city youth, and the stories that you hear from kids that came in that didn't know how to swim, that are swimming in Lake Erie and going to these different races. And even I used to do triathlons, and I was terrified of open water. But these kids are overcoming that fear and doing amazing things. We're also a training center, so we're the training site for the We Run This City kids, and so that's another partnership with CMSD schools where the teachers actually serve as coaches, and we take the kids through. We teach them how to run. We teach them about the importance of taking care of their bodies, and we help them kind of work toward a skill. So if you would ever see them at the Cleveland Marathon each year, it is awesome to see just the kids that started run walking to the point where if you watch them cross the finish line, if you see the looks on their faces, like, we did that, right? We ran, or they may have ran, but, achieving and accomplishing things that otherwise they may not have been introduced to. The last thing I'll share about some of the community impact is recently we launched something that was called Y on the Fly. And so we recognize that in the greater Cleveland area, we don't have a YMCA in every neighborhood like we want to, but we said that we were going to go out on a venture and take the Y to people who may not be able to get to the Y. So in the summer, we started with 2 sites, the Glenville Rec Center and Thea Bowman Center. We took our staff in a van full of fun, and we just popped up a couple days a week and just said, let's play. We'll continue that. We have some partnerships and some collaborations lined up with CMHA Housing and their community centers to be able to further that Y on the Fly initiative. And then finally, the request that we have. So in addition to our financial assistance program, I wanted you to understand the work that we're intentionally trying to do to reach out in the community. In 2023, we provided financial assistance, approximately, give or take, a little bit over 36,000 to about 640 members, and that included access to YMCA memberships, and that also includes swim lessons. Now, again, some of the other community outreach, I'm not counting that piece, and so I'm just looking at the direct, but there are a lot of indirect ways that we assist. This year, as the application states, we're probably over that by now, but around 408 individuals that are receiving financial assistance. Also understand that even if they join downtown, they're a member and they have access to all of our Ys. And so if the Parker-Hannifin Y doesn't have a program that they're looking for, they're able to still join and work out or come to the facility of their choice. But if there's a program that they want to use sports in, that they can actually travel and go and still have the member benefits at any of our other locations. I will share with you that, that this request for 10,000, we know that we have individuals that need assistance. We'll continue to provide that every year. We look to find ways to be able to fund this program. But in the coming weeks, we're going to be launching a new financial assistance system that is called FA Check. We recognize that our paper application, that process, sometimes served as a barrier to people wanting to deal, with, I don't want to have to go through all of that, never mind, right? And they walk out the door. We're removing that barrier. And so instead of them filling out the paper and then having to bring in pay stubs or proof of assistance or some of those other things, we will have a system that we can take minimal information, name, date of birth, address, some basic information, and it gives us back, according to our scholarship scale, it will turn that around immediately. So there's no going home. There's no, I have a sister that trying to get her into the Y, and even she's like, I can't take off work again to get her in this program because I've got to go back and get my W-2, or I need this check stub. So this gives us a way to expand our services. So we believe that we are going to see an increase in those requests because one of those barriers has been removed. The process is painless. And so we'll be able to serve more, but as a result, our demand and our need will grow. So we thank you for the consideration of this application, and hope that you would grant the request. And again, I'm all in favor of the increase, so thank you.
All right, Ms. Fox. One of my questions was the City of Cleveland residents. Is this just for City of Cleveland residents?
We primarily serve in this location, but I think we do serve some of the outskirts. But no, we don't limit it to a certain zip code. But we know that the people that typically come to us, they either work here or they live somewhere in the area.
And did you bring a business card? I was interested in the sign up for the classes, the swim classes for the kids.
Yes, I do have a business
That's for
card.
fourth graders?
So we have traditional swim lessons where you can sign up, anybody can come in and sign up for sessions, but the fourth grade Learn to Swim program, we are partnering directly with the schools, and so they bring a class at a time. We do some land, just conversation about open water and what do you do and safety around that, and then there's sessions in the water where we're actually teaching them different things, how to recover, how to float, and then there's obviously some playtime in there as well.
We're going to open it up. My colleague Sweeney.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and thank you for your presentation.
Yes.
I consider that Downtown Y just the melting pot. All different kind of folks there.
It is.
And it's just
And it.
and it's a family.
Yes.
And Camilla was as much energy as you have.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And she described all the things that you described and what the benefit
Absolutely.
is. And then
Absolutely.
she's the one that said, hey, Sweeney, how can we try to figure this out?
Yes.
And that's how this application came. So I'm just
She
giving
told
her
me that. Thank you.
giving her a shout out.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Absolutely.
and it's just a good thing. And it's just not for the city of Cleveland. You guys are going to keep going. And this is one way of using ARPA dollars to help keep going and growing, hopefully. But this is one-time money.
Yes.
So this ain't one and done. In your comments today, you were
Yes.
like, we're going to keep going. And
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for the little boost.
Thank
So
you.
keep it up, and I'm glad it's under 4 feet, your pool, because I can stand up. Don't have to worry about this one. My attempt at weak humor. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I ask my colleagues to consider supporting this at this time.
Any other questions from my colleagues? Hearing none. Anything else you'd like to share, Ms. Fox?
No, just thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, well, thank you for, sound like great partnerships. You will leave your card with the clerk
I sure will. All right, thank you.
down there. So as you heard earlier, 3 readings. Can I have a motion to move this to the full council under second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Turner, seconded by Miller. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you could read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0392, awarding a total sum not to exceed $6,500 to the City of Middleburg Heights for the Senior Life Program from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Give me 1 second. Okay, again, thank you. My name is Mark Elliott. I'm the Recreation Director in the City of Middleburg Heights. And I appreciate the opportunity to come before all of you on the ARPA grant possibility. And obviously, we're here for a grant for our what we call our Senior Life Program in the City of Middleburg. And I'm sure not just our city, but all cities, the senior is a very, very important and critical segment of our communities. A couple things on our application that you have in front. I just wanted to specifically address one of the things we right now, the community is very supportive of all the different programming that we do. And we had broke that down into about 60% of it is from the city, 20% we have some sponsors in some of the programs that we do, and the other 20% is from the individuals who participate in all the programs. We do a lot of different things. There's so many different activities. We like to say our senior population is a 60 plus. And our goal is to see that they live an active and healthy lifestyle. We can achieve this by all of the different and variety of programs that we do, all of which are very interesting, affordable, and enjoyable. Our goals are to reach as many individuals with all abilities as possible. The activities range from our daily, weekly, and monthly programming. There are things like water exercises, fitness classes, bocce, cornhole, pickleball, ping pong, book clubs, card playing, crafts, ice cream socials, dances, movies. We have a series of lunch and learn educational opportunities, specific topics, health fairs, monthly trips, throw in summer picnics and clam bakes. We keep them very busy, and they have a lot of fun doing it. Specifically, one of the areas that is probably the greatest cost are a lot of the trips that we go on. And I did seek to just correct and addend one of those to better explain. Again, the senior programming is very popular in the community, and our goals are for all the folks participating to have fun and an exciting experience. Without the programming that we do, many of these seniors would never have the opportunity to visit destinations throughout Northeast Ohio and beyond. And we'd like to utilize the grant funding to discount the cost of purchasing those tickets. In addition to traveling and utilizing buses, there are benefits with our environment and energy efficiency, and it's just a safer way to travel. So specifically, I wanted to clear that up or add that. And also, one of the other areas on the application talked about if we were increasing jobs and that. We weren't doing that, but we do have one full-time and one part-time staff person that will not change. I failed to put that in, and just wanted to be sure that I did add that. Other than that, I think all the information that I've provided should answer, and I would entertain any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Elliott. One question I may have is City of Middleburg Heights, they do get funding from our DSAS department for the senior program?
Say that
I'm
again?
just checking. For Department of Senior and Adult
Yes.
Services? Okay.
Yes, we do.
Just wanted to make sure.
And then in our facility, and all of our programs are not just Middleburg Heights, but it is open to non-residents. And many of the dances and trips that we go on, there are people participating from all surrounding communities, mostly near our city.
Thank you. Open it up to my colleagues. Mr. Sweeney?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Mayor, nice seeing you.
Thank you. You too.
I know the work you do out there. The dollars that we give you are just going to be maximized, and how much productivity is going to come out of it. I just ask my colleagues to support it and keep up the great work out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to share?
No, I have some paperwork I will leave, that we have to get in. I will leave that with the clerk, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Right, well, and we appreciate, we feel the same way about seniors. No matter
Thank
what
you.
city you come from, they're the jewels
Right.
of our community, so.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll make a motion to move this to the full council under second reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Conwell, seconded by Sweeney. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, when you get a moment, please read the next item into the record.
Resolution 2024-0393, awarding a total sum not to exceed $6,500 to the City of Parma Heights for the purchase of exercise equipment for the Parma Heights Senior Center from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Hello, everyone. My name is Trish James, and I am the administrator at the Parma Heights Senior Center. We started a goal after COVID because we saw that the isolation and the inactivity that took place was probably worse than the virus itself. So as soon as we opened back up, we just focused on nutrition, better choices, more exercise, and basically healthy aging. So the first exercise we did, we wanted to hit, well, first of all, I should tell you, I'm very fortunate to live in Parma Heights as well, but it's a small bedroom community with a significant number of seniors. And we don't have a lot of business, so we don't have a big budget. So through our grants, I am so fortunate that we almost exist without any help from the city because we get almost $500,000 in grants. And because of that, that takes care of our overhead and other things. Our meals we serve, in 1 month, we serve 1,260 congregate meals. We provide 1,500 transportation rides and 1,288 homebound meals a month we deliver. In addition to that, we do exercises, presentations, trips, different things, all with 2 full-time employees, myself being one of them, 1 part-time office person, and the rest are people that prepare foods. Excuse me, I'm not very well-versed at doing this, so excuse me.
You're doing great.
So, and drivers that deliver our meals and drivers that participate in, take the seniors on their trips. Okay, settle down, Trish. Anyway, we started with yoga, and yoga is something that's pretty expensive to have classes for. So we did a yoga class for seniors, and that is the one exercise that we pay someone to come in. She is a professional, and she's wonderful, and it's very well attended. But everything else comes down to myself and my assistant, Mike, to do the programming. So the second thing we started is, besides regular, they want bingo, they want other things, but we wanted to expand that. So we started doing exercise drumming. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it is a bucket and an exercise ball and 2 drumsticks. And to music, we Google it or YouTube it. It's exciting, it's really great. And when we first started, everyone was sitting down in chairs. Now, sometimes half the people are up. We do jumping jacks with it, and we're talking about people that are also anywhere from 60, but also we have 80 and 90-year-olds in the class. And it's helped improve. We have people that can move now. We have people that are off medicine now. We have people that are not suffering from depression without medication. And because that exercise is a cognitive, cardio, and there's three. And physical, emotional, and psychological. It does everything. It's just crazy. So that's what we're trying to do. So with this money, we want to expand those programs. So what we want to do is we want to do a tap dance exercise class. And so we're going to use that to buy the tap dance. And again, Mike and I, poor Mike, he does about anything I ask him to do. So today I told him, well, I'm going down and you're going to have to wear a tutu and start dancing with the tap dance in this class. So I want to do that. I want to get a few more exercise, the balls, the whole set, but I do need to replace some that have gone through some wear and tear in the last 3 years. And also, I would like to get a portable mini golf course, an indoor golf course. And these are the things that are attracting seniors to come, these kinds of activities that we're providing. We have about 10 to 20, we have been consistently getting 10 to 20 new people signing up every month since January. We have 30 people coming to do these activities, which if you know a senior center, and we're not big, we don't have our own place, so we occupy space in the educator apartment building. And so we're crammed in there, but people are coming, our atmosphere is good. I think that we're doing good things, and I think we're helping people maintain their health and at least feel younger. Maybe we can't turn back, but we feel younger, and I appreciate the opportunity that you've given us. And like I said, we do get funds through the Department of Senior and Adult Services already, and Western Reserve, and a few other donations. But I should have told you right off the bat, everything we do is free. We don't charge anything. We're a donation only, period. So there is nothing that can hold you back from participating at Parma Heights. That's it.
Open it up to my colleague that sponsored.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. We're going to see Mike come bust through the window with the tutu on now? No?
Yes.
Maybe? Okay.
Maybe. No, he would if I had asked him.
I know. Your presentation was heartfelt, beautiful, and I can see why they're so successful in regards to your vision out there. Just my thought, it's the perfect way to spend ARPA, because you're buying something that's going to be used until it's worn out.
Yeah.
And every new thing that you come up with is more energy, more living their life to their fullest, and you just should be commended. And
Thank you.
this guy next to me says you're okay.
He's pretty good, too.
He can say something. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Through the chair. I just wanted to add that, sometimes I get excited about county government. It's more than tap dance and yoga. It's really about your strategies to help people extend their life and enjoy it. So thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sweeney.
It's everybody. I just make a recommendation. I always have to sign off on it, and I appreciate it. That's what we're down here for. We're one body, and it's kind of cool. So thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, seeing none. I'll make a motion to move our 20240393 to the full council under second reading. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Conwell, seconded by Sweeney. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right, Madam Clerk, if you could read the next item into
Thank
the
you.
record. You're
Go
welcome, Trish.
Seavers.
Resolution 2024-0394, awarding a total sum not to exceed $6,500 to the Parma Commission on Aging Incorporated for the Hearing Loop Installation Project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the committee, Honorable District 4 Councilman Mike Byrne. I am delighted to be here today, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to receive funds for the Donna Smallwood Activity Center. My name is Erin Lally. I'm the director of the Donna Smallwood Activity Center. The funds are being requested by the Parma Commission on Aging, which is our nonprofit arm of the Senior Center. It was created in 1984 by our founder, Donna Smallwood, who really looked ahead, and they are a partner that was created to raise funds and receive grants to spend money at the Senior Center, and that's what we do. We have a great partnership. I am the statutory agent, which is one of the reasons I am here before you today, but very excited about the things that we are doing and creating a 21st century lifelong learning wellness center. And we were honored to receive from DSAS, we received CSSP funding, the Barbara Galloway Award at the 30th Annual Disability and Aging Summit. And it's because of the services that we provide, not just to Parma seniors, but to everyone in the area who chooses to come. The mission of our center is to create this 21st century lifelong learning center, and we discovered a new technology called a hearing loop. I don't know if you've ever heard of a hearing loop, but it is technology. It's a simple loop of, I'm saying wire. I don't know exactly what kind of wire, but people who have cochlear implants or hearing aids can connect to this wireless hearing loop, and it has so many benefits. First of all, it blurs out background noise, so that people who have their hearing loop connected, their hearing aid connected with the loop, can hear speakers. And we have expert speakers all the time. They can hear music. We have performances and bands. And just last week, next slide, we had large events. Oh, okay, no, I got my slides wrong, but yeah, okay, go back one more. Okay. Just last week, we had 3 very, very large events. We had a Veterans Day tribute with over 150 people in the house. We had our monthly dance, which was classic Hollywood. If you see the picture in the corner, I just think they're adorable for wearing costumes to our dance. But we also had a senior expo, and our YMCA, we have a YMCA satellite branch in our senior center, and that's what makes us really unique. But they conducted a class, as you can see in the bottom photo, during the expo. So if seniors were able to connect to a loop so that they could hear who is ever on a microphone and speaking, it would make a huge difference. So I had my slides wrong, but there is a Hearing Loss Association of America, and there's actually an International Hearing Loop Association. The International Manufacturing Hearing Loop Association provides a good practice guide for service providers, which we will be using to select a contractor. The City of Parma is committed to help us select a contractor who can meet these standards. And the Parma Commission on Aging has requested funds through a grant from Cox Communications. It's a technology boost grant. We haven't received it yet. However, we are hoping to receive that grant and are asking for ARPA funds to match those monies so that we can install the hearing loop by 2026. However, if we don't get the hearing loop grant from Cox Communications, there's still things that we would like to do. Our 31-year-old building has not had bathroom upgrades in 31 years. We have 2 sets of bathrooms. One is handicapped accessible, the other is not. We need new counters, new mirrors, new sinks handicapped where they can pull on up, new hand dryers. So I'd like to say that if we get the Tech Boost grant from Cox, that the ARPA funds would match that. And if we don't, we would still like to use those ARPA funds for bathroom upgrades. However, also, if the committee is willing to consider amending so that we can fund both, we would certainly be open to that. We don't want to be greedy. However, the money would be well spent and well used. I have some numbers that I'd like to put up just to share with you. Yeah, our October. Oh, I don't know. Okay. I don't know if you can read this, but to date, we've served over 20,000 people coming through our doors. Just last month in October, we only had 2 new members, but we have 384 new members just this year who are coming in to use our facilities. We've provided we've provided over 9,500 rides. That's to grocery shopping, to come to our center, and to doctor appointments. We do deliver meals. We have 5 meal delivery drivers, and we've served over 20,000 meals. And I just want to segue real quick and share with you, you should have received a copy of a letter that we gave to our state officials for the Ohio Healthy Aging Grant. We were able to receive those funds from Ohio because we have CSSP funding through the county. We received over $20,000 that we spent on things we wouldn't have otherwise been able to spend. And we're so grateful that we have that partnership. So one of the things that we did with our meal delivery, we deliver over 100 meals a day. We made care packages. We bought totes. We filled them with personal care items, with protein foods and snacks, with special things like a journal, also safety items like a first aid kit and a mini flashlight. We gave them a mini stuffed animal and a Hershey's chocolate bar. But the thing that was most special that we were able to provide, because we got grant funding, were a partnership letters from the Parma City School District children, high school, preschool, grade school. We had a Sunshine Club that made cards. City Council provided cards to every single person. It was incredibly special thing that we were able to do because of the funds and the partnerships that we have. So that has nothing to do with my hearing loop request, but I wanted you to know that we're doing good things with the funds that we receive, and we would be grateful to you for anything you are able and willing to send to the city of Parma.
All right, Ms. Aaron, thank you.
Sure.
You ain't going nowhere.
Right. Oh, yeah.
The last slide, you got questions?
Okay, in terms of the hearing loop, it seems like you've put a lot of thought into what the seniors need. So just for this committee's edification and to understand correctly, so the 6,500 Cox, that's the amount of grant that you would go for them?
We requested a Cox grant of $10,000.
Okay.
So any additional funds would be a match to make sure we can install the system properly.
Okay, so the 6,500 is a little shy of that matching of the, so I asked Councilman Sweeney to put in a little more. I will, I deal with seniors. My mom lives with me. I'm very blessed that that I have my mom and she lives with me, so I go through the challenges every day that some of you might deal with. And just to make do we provide seniors with better hearing at functions or bathroom upgrades? It just seems ludicrous to me. So I am willing to give you from District 7 $10,000. Councilman Sweeney will put his 6,500 up to his 10. That way they can get bathrooms and the hearing technology. How about that?
Guess what?
Please.
Oh, no, you and I were chatting soon. The power play on the table, 'cause I don't play that way. I really don't.
But no, I will give the 10,000.
Yeah,
but,
and we'll figure it out, but that's, I normally have trouble hearing. I didn't have trouble hearing that one.
And didn't say that you had
Thank
trouble
you,
hearing.
Madam Chair.
I just want the seniors there not to be able to have to
I
make
got
a
it.
choice between bathrooms and hearing. They seem
We will
like
figure it
they're
out. They
pretty
know that.
important,
Yes.
both of them. So
Thank
I
you.
am willing, let's change that. That was just a joke for Sweeney. I
Yes.
am willing to add 10,000, and I hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Madam Chair, I know you're a champion for vibrant aging, and we certainly have that in our space and place, and you're always welcome there. But thank you.
We'll stop by. I definitely
Yes.
will. Any other Councilman Sweeney.
I was going to lead into my one story about the senior center.
Yes.
It's the most devastating defeat I've ever had in my athletic career. I was beat playing chair volleyball, seniors there, and it was brutal.
And one of our most fun activities.
Isn't it fun?
The one roll, you can't get off your
You
chair.
can't see it. I got
And
flagged
they're
so
like,
many times for that.
Aaron, get back, sit down.
But anything through the chair.
But
Oh.
we have a wonderful rivalry with the city of Parma Heights. They have a chair volleyball program, and we have a trophy, and we compete against one another. And the most recent trophy's gone to the city of Parma Heights, but we expect it to return to us,
Oh, wow.
which is so much fun.
And just on the note, anything Aaron's involved with is going to have the passion, the drive, and the caring. So these are well-protected dollars that are going to be invested. So thank you, and I'd like my colleagues to consider this.
All right, can I have a motion, Councilman Sweeney?
I'd like to
Move it.
move it as amended, though, right?
Madam Chair, we'll prepare a proposed substitute
prop-
for the next
For
council
the next
meeting.
council meeting, so we'll move it as it is now.
Yeah, just I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-0394.
And I'll second.
Second.
Then moved by Sweeney, seconded by Miller. All in favor? Would you like to say something?
Just a quick comment after
There you go. We'll hold that vote.
Just a quick comment. Thank you, Madam Chair. And the last three presentations did a fantastic job for District 4, and much appreciated. You don't get to publicly acknowledge people that make your lives easier and better, and I have that opportunity today, so I want to take it, Madam Chair. Presenter here from Parma, Aaron Lally, was my assistant for many years, and when I served as mayor in Parma Heights, 10 years. I'm sure it felt a lot longer to you, Aaron. But I want to thank you for all that you did for the city of Parma Heights and for me for making things easier. Trish James was my senior director over there and really turned things around when we were having issues over at the senior center and has definitely made my life better and easier. And I'd like to thank the former mayor of Brook Park, Mark Elliott, who opened his doors and his wisdom to me when I first transitioned into mayor. We experienced shared services, shared employees, shared equipment. We worked very, very well together. So I'd like to publicly thank all three of you for making my life much easier. Thank you.
And now to that vote. It's been moved by Sweeney, seconded by Miller. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Madam Clerk, if you could read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0399, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Cleveland Alumni Kappa Alpha Psi Scholarship Foundation for the Community Expungement Clinic Project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Welcome.
There we go. We'll play the video.
If you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Jermaine Brooks. I am the Polemark president of the Cleveland Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Thank you.
All right, welcome. Okay, we don't hear anything.
All right, well, while they're working on that, I'll start. All right, just a little bit about us. The Cleveland Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated has been a pillar in the community for over 104 years. It was established in October 15th, 1920, and it stands as the flagship chapter of the East Central Province. It was founded by Dr. Herbert Wallace, Dr. John Finley, Harold Tyler, and Raymond G. The chapter has been dedicated to serving greater Cleveland community through leadership, development, volunteerism, mentorship, partnerships, and philanthropic support. In 1947, the chapter established the Cleveland Alumni Kappa Alpha Psi Scholarship Foundation. In 1993, it was incorporated to a 501c3, which has awarded substantial scholarships to accomplished high school seniors in the area, benefiting in college-bound youth within the community. To date, we have given over $250,000 and assisted over 250 students with scholarships. Prominent members of our Cleveland Alumni chapter are Carl Stokes, first African-American mayor of a major city, Louis Stokes, former U.S. Congressman, Mayor Michael White, Mayor of Cleveland, Dr. Julian Earls, a distinguished physicist and retired director of NASA's Glenn Research Center, and that's just to name a few. We have several community initiatives. Number one is our Kappa Food Drive. This started when we built Kappa House 1 and Kappa House 2 at 12450 Shaker Boulevard. We built those two buildings. Both of those buildings was over 100 units, and it was subsidized through HUD. We owned and managed these buildings until 2021 when we sold them. But in collaboration with the food bank, we hosted a food drive there on the third Saturday of every month. Since then, in selling it, we wanted to continue those services in that area, so we have 2 food drives a month, the second Saturday and then the last Saturday each month. And to date, for this year, we've distributed over 100,000 pounds of food to the community. We also have our Guide Right and Kappa League program, in which we mentor youth males on 7 objectives: self-identity and purpose, academics and career choices, competition in life, social aspects, health education, economic empowerment, and college and post-high school. We also participate in an initiative in which we go down to the Juvenile Justice Center at the last Wednesday of every month. We have a Sunbeam toy giveaway, we have a Room to Read program, and we participate in our Brothers for Mothers initiative, in which we're trying to combat SIDS within Cuyahoga County. The actual video that they were showing was we already put on our first expungement clinic, and it was hosted on July 20th, 2024 at Cleveland Heights High School. And that was just some of the press that we had received from that event. We were able to help 200 individuals get their criminal records expunged. How did we get here? Our fraternity, we have over 150 paid members, and we had a couple that had gotten in trouble and was having problems getting jobs. One of our brothers, Brother Calhoun, at Calhoun Funeral Home, ended up giving an individual a job. However, we seen it as a bigger problem. We started doing a little bit of research, and we noticed that in Cuyahoga County, the impact of community expungement clinics can be particularly significant. Statistics show that over 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. have criminal records, and in Cuyahoga County alone, thousands of individuals are eligible for expungement. However, many do not pursue it due to the lack of knowledge and/or financial barriers. So from there, we decided to tackle that as helping our own brothers. We passed the hat and used our own budget to host the first one, and it was a great event. From that event, we did the application process, we did all the marketing, we teamed up with the city of Cleveland, the law department, and we had a successful event. From that event, we actually had a lady that I actually did her intake information, and she was trying to get her insurance license and couldn't get her insurance license due to a record that she had. After we got it expunged, she was able to take the test, get her insurance license, and now she's working for one of our fraternity's brothers' insurance company. So we see the impact that this really does have. And like I said, there's over 150 members that are paid, and the only one that showed up today is our exchequer. That's the person who's in charge of the money. So when this opportunity presented itself, we felt we needed to take advantage of it, because right now we fund everything out of our own coffers. We passed the hat, we have quick fundraisers and things like that, but we've never really went after grants or anything like that. So this is really a pressing issue that we would like to to tackle. We've already in planning to have 2 more expungement clinics throughout Cuyahoga County right now. And we're going to be bringing in jobs at those expungement clinics for people to have and looking at partnership with that as well.
A fraternity.
I got it going now if you'd
Okay.
like to. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
No problem.
He hosted a free expungement clinic in Cleveland Heights today. News 5's Maya Lockett spoke with those receiving a second chance at their lives.
A few mistakes doesn't determine who I am.
In the past, Shirley Pearl ran into some legal issues that continues to negatively impact her life.
On paper, it looks like I'm a disorderly, violent person, and that's totally the opposite of who I am. I love people. I'm a loving human being. I'm not that person that I once was.
Over the years, her record has kept her from achieving her dreams and getting jobs.
I love kids, and I wasn't able to work with kids because of my background.
But today, Pearl and her sister received a second chance at life after their criminal records were expunged, meaning a nonviolent arrest or a conviction is removed from a person's record.
I feel like a brand new, fresh citizen. I feel like I have my second chance to do whatever it is that I want to do the right way.
Giving them the chance to turn a new leaf and make up for lost time.
I get to work with kids. I get to be in my community more and just to be that leader that I always know I am and I wanted to be.
With the help from the City of Cleveland, the Cleveland Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity hosted a free expungement clinic in Cleveland Heights, helping 200 people get a fresh start.
As a fraternity, we want to make certain that individuals in our community who've committed certain type of mistakes in their life didn't feel like their life was over and did not feel like no one cared enough about them to make sure they give a little judicial grace.
Officials say most misdemeanor offenses are committed because of poverty.
Some thefts are because were you stealing food from the grocery store to help feed your kiddos or your cousins, right? And now you're out here trying to get a good job so you don't go back to those type of poor choices.
Aquila Jordan is the chief assistant prosecutor for the City of Cleveland. She says the city has hosted 6 expungement clinics.
This work literally is providing people with the opportunity to apply for jobs, apply for government assistance if they weren't eligible for it.
The fraternity is already planning to partner with the city to do a second expungement clinic, hoping to provide endless opportunities to those who were denied them. Maya Lockett, News 5.
All right, I'd like to open it up to Councilwoman Turner.
Oh, thank you so much. Excellent presentation. I knew we would get here one day, right? Thank you for all that Kappa Alpha Psi does for our community. And, you know, I have a little experience with putting on these expungement clinics with the support of the Cuyahoga County Office of Reentry. Yes. I believe Director Best is in the room, or he was. Do you know Director
I haven't met him in person, yes.
Okay. So I want to make sure that maybe we can partner and work together. Maybe you consider hosting one of these in District 9.
Love to.
But the impact of this work is it's endless.
Yeah.
And it takes more than one entity to meet the need. It's so great. So thank you for all that you're doing. Make sure, Director Best, that we get connected on other opportunities. Maybe there's some other grants available or other opportunities to make this sustainable for your organization. As a sponsor, I'm proud to be able to support another D9 organization, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
Thank you.
All right, anything from my colleagues? All right, Mr. Miller.
Just a comment that misdemeanors shouldn't result in lifetime sentences. It's a very serious problem. And I think this is very much needed, and we also need continued advocacy in Columbus to make this process easier and more available to people. Thank you.
Can I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll move to refer this resolution for second reading.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Miller, seconded by Turner. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Madam Clerk, if you could read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0400, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Young Women's Christian Association of Cleveland for the purpose of eliminating racism, empowering women, and ending homelessness from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Welcome.
Thank you. Is this on?
Yes, you can just state your name for the record.
Well, thank you. And thank you to County Council for allowing us to apply for county ARPA funding. And I guess I didn't introduce myself. I apologize. I'm Helen Forbes Fields, President and CEO of the YWCA, and Cynthia Daly, our Executive Vice President of Programs and Data, is joining me as well. At the YWCA, you may know our mission is to eliminate racism and to empower women. And our programming and the support that we're seeking today is really aimed to enhance many things. We have several programs across 4 buildings, 2 of which are shelters where we provide shelter and housing, safe housing for women who are seeking shelter with us, at least 200 women that are coming to us each day. And certainly we'll be back to talk to you more about that in the coming months. But we also operate our early learning center where we have at least 50 preschoolers, many who have suffered trauma, often associated with homelessness. We also have housing in our main building located at 40th and Prospect for young adults, some of whom have aged out of foster care, looking for housing, others who have been touched by homelessness as well. And then we have a building on our near west side called Cogswell Hall, where we provide resources to older adults. And Cynthia will talk a bit more about those programs. We were asked to submit a PowerPoint, a very short presentation around that, but we are seeking some assistance from the county as we support those programs. We want to invest, as you know, we invest our time, our effort in those programs, but we also want to be able to invest in our own infrastructure. As was mentioned with many of the nonprofits that are here today, we are under-resourced. We have so many issues with our infrastructure. We have a whole list. It probably amounts to several $1 million in terms of the infrastructure updates that we need, or even replacements. So we're looking to have some assistance regarding that so we can have more trauma-informed spaces as we care for our community, as well as investing in our staff. It's very difficult to receive any type of funding. We like to really improve in terms of leadership training, offer leadership training for our staff, because we believe our community deserves the best experts in serving them and their needs. And we'd love to be able to send more of our staff out to develop that leadership training. You may know from Cleveland Leadership Center alone, those types of programs cost several $1,000s, and we're just not able to put that into our budget each year. So I'll let Cynthia talk a bit more about the program so you see exactly the type of work that we invest in each day and why it's so necessary that we receive a few dollars to improve our infrastructure and invest in our own staff members. Cynthia.
Thank you so much, Helen. And so I'll start by speaking a bit about our Early Learning Center. We have a trauma-informed 2-generational model that supports not just ensuring that the children are properly prepared for entering kindergarten, but that families receive the services that they need. We recognize that the 2-generational approach ensures that that child is going to have everything that they need to really be successful long-term. So we can't only focus on their education, we have to also support the families. Last year, we supported 64 students and 54 parents. 46% of those new enrollments from last year were all homeless families that were housed and remained housed throughout the school year as well. We had a 100% graduation rate with 20 students this past school year, and our family engagement services provided 1,156 case management contacts to our families in that school year as well. We have lots of rich partnerships in our Early Learning Center. We are supported by Starting Point. We have partnerships with PEP, the Ohio Department of Education, Head Start, Cleveland State University, Pre-Frickley, Holden Arboretum, Cleveland Playhouse, Cleveland Museum of Art, and the Rainey Institute of Arts as well. Our other program in-house at our main location is Independence Place and NIA, where we are offering permanent supportive housing to 23 young adults through our case management services there. So in 2023, we served 27 young adults and provided 767 supportive service contacts to them with 0 returned to homelessness. Of all of those that lived in our program last year, 48% of those young adults were actively employed, and our case management service providers, our life coaches, what we refer to them, made an intentional increase in services around financial matters and economic stability, how to have proper household management, their mental health needs, and ensuring that they're properly connected to support systems in the community. We have partnerships with Magnolia House, Langston Hughes Medical Center, Care Alliance, and PNC as well that came in and did the financial awareness classes for our young adults. And we were able to have, I believe, 5 young adults that received, were able to open bank accounts through PNC after completing that program. As Helen mentioned, we also operate Norma Her Women's Center, which is the only all-women's low-barrier shelter in the county. The slide says 170 women each night. Is closer to 200. Last night, we saw 233 women receiving shelter for the evening. We assumed management of Norma Her in 2018, and last year alone, we had 1,328 women that sought shelter 2,317 times. So there's quite a number of women that end up returning to us for services as well. In last year, we did support 105 to permanent supportive housing exits in the community, be that permanent supportive housing, rapid rehousing, reunification, or rentals with or without subsidies. Since September of 2024, as Helen mentioned, we're also operating out of 2 locations, one on Payne and one on Walton. And all of the same services are available at both of our shelters. So our clinical supports, alcohol and drug services, mental health services, as well as recreational engagement activities are available at both sites, though all intakes continue to happen directly through Payne. We are very heavily supported by volunteer services at Norma Her as well. In 2023, we had about $18,000 in donated items, and that included, and an additional $24,540 worth of donated hours by our volunteers. And so we do heavily rely on volunteer services to help our operations there. We've got partnerships with Care Alliance, Metro Health, Frontline Services, the Youth Advocacy for Mental Health programs, and various local churches and nonprofits also come in and help to support our meals and meal services. Last but not least, I'll share on Cogswell Hall. Moved a little too fast. Okay. So at Cogswell Hall, we served 48 residents in 2023. 56% of our tenants there are between the ages of 65 and 71. And so we are very intentional in ensuring that our services are about decreasing isolation and increasing their way of life, as many of them stay with us through end of life, and ensuring that their aging in place is as positive and healthy as it can be. As 79% of our residents are unable to work, we focus very intentionally on ensuring that we have impactful, meaningful, fulfilling, and enjoyable, diverse opportunities for them to engage in partnerships and activities right out of there. We've got partnerships with the Case Medical Health Literacy students, Westside Catholic Charity, Cleveland Museum of Art, Neighborhood Family Practice. We also serve meals to all of our residents at no cost to them. And in 2023, we served 13,409 meals to all of our residents. That site also provides the foods to our shelter, actually. And so last year, we served over 156,000 meals as well to our Norma Her site. And that's just a bit on our programs.
Questions from anyone? Councilman Miller.
So, thank you very much for the presentation and for all the good work that you do in it. I just have to tell you that this application caught my attention immediately when I saw it, because you picked three of the most important goals that you could possibly come up with: to eliminate racism, to empower women, and to end homelessness. And the way it reads, you're going to do this for 10,000.
You all were giving away extra money today, so it does not have to stay at $10,000.
So, but my question is just if you could provide some specifics as to what the 10,000 is going to be used for and how it's going to improve the infrastructure of your organization.
Sure. For instance, one thing that we're looking at, we have a conference room where we meet with various public officials. Councilwoman Turner was able to visit with us today, but we also have programming for our young adults, for instance, at Independence Place, as well as our parents from our Early Learning Center. We just held a session during August and September where we were educating our population about opiate use and substance use. We were using the conference room from there. We have activities for our young adults in that conference room. Our floor is absolutely shot. We need a whole new floor. That's approximately $6,500 to $7,000 to replace that floor. That's the type of thing that we're thinking about. More than likely, that would be exactly the infrastructure that we can address right now. We're looking at the amount of funding that's available to us, and so we're looking at smaller items. You know, we have HVAC needs as well, but for us, it's $2 million to replace our HVAC system. So obviously, when we're looking at smaller grant amounts, we're looking at smaller projects, but that would be the perfect example of how we would apply the money or funding within our building. In addition to, as I mentioned, leadership training is so important for our staff. It not only increases their appreciation for the YWCA, really focused on staying with us when they know that we're willing to invest in them and their future. And so looking at various leadership training programs as well. That would cost approximately $1,000. So then we can spread it around and have several individuals that could take advantage of some additional training.
So I just have to add how appreciative I am that you're focusing on the real problems that are the biggest things in our community. There's just so much going on in the political world that's dealing with symbolic things that aren't real problems, and I just appreciate your focus on things that are really going to make people's lives better, and that's just so important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I just, again, want to thank you, Madam President, for providing direct services, empowering programming and advocacy to support marginalized individuals and families, especially women and children and girls of color, while working to challenge structural barriers to equity. This is your organization's impact statement, and I'm just so proud to be able to support your work. We do business with you in a lot of different ways because of the proven impact and results that you give. You know, as this year ends, as our ARPA dollars run out, you know, we all wish we had more to be able to give. And, you know, I was asked on several occasions, how do we make these decisions about, you know, who we will fund? And for me, it wasn't strategic at all. I ended up at your place through an invitation. And because I got an opportunity to see the services that you provide and some of the young people that you impact, it was a no-brainer for me to be able to try to provide what I could, given how anemic our dollars are at this stage of the game. But thank you for all that you do for our young people and trying to help them rebuild their lives and be a contributing member of our society. So I ask for my colleagues' support on this very important project.
Thank you.
All right, anything else from my colleagues? Hearing none. I just wanted to thank you myself, President. You know, you have a good partnership and for the women that is so needed, just with the county partnership and all that you've brought together that came along with you and that you do for the community. So definitely need you to stay in that role. There, as my colleague stated, there's so many needs out here, not enough funding. I don't know about anybody else, but for $6 million, I had $30 million of requests. So, you know, it's just, we do what we can. We're very thankful that we have. We will keep that in the back of our minds, that you have needs out there that is concerning your building. I've been there. So I know it's very important, and like Councilman Miller said, yeah, heavy task to eliminate racism and all that. And of course, $10,000 is not enough. So I'll be happy to make a motion to move this to the full council for second reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Conwell, seconded by Turner. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you both for
Thank
coming
you.
down.
Please tell dear old Dad we said hi.
I will.
All right, Madam Clerk, if you could read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0423, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for community-based services to support at-risk children and families in Cuyahoga County for the period April 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to March 31st, 2025, to make budget line item revisions, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $1,228,433.65, effective January 1st, 2025.
Good afternoon. Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of Children and Family Services. Again, this is an amendment to a master contract with various agencies to provide community-based services to at-risk children and families. Providers deliver high-quality, innovative, and promising practice services to at-risk children, teens, and families in order that caregivers, birth parents, foster parents, and/or kinship caregivers can provide a safe, stable, and nurturing environment for children and youth. Services are easily accessible, timely, and effective. The overarching goal of these services is to help parents enhance skills and resolve problems to prevent entry in the child welfare system and to lessen the time in the system for those already involved. Knowing that all families can benefit from support in some way, the range of family support can be incorporated into community work across a service continuum. We are only extending this contract, master contract, by 3 months to allow us to complete a new RFP process. This new RFP is currently open and it will close on December 16th. We have Karen Storman and Beverly Torres from DCFS who can better answer any questions regarding the program itself. I can answer any questions regarding the process.
Yes, Mr. Marcos. So why is it felt the need to extend at the last committee meeting on in November on the 22nd in 2023? Director and you stated that you should have everything in line so it could roll out in January 1st. So why are we?
So we actually did issue an RFP in the middle of the year. I believe it was in July. It closed. However, we recognized that there was an error, and everyone who wanted to receive the copy of the RFP did not receive a copy of the RFP. So in all fairness, we decided that it was best to reissue the RFP. Unfortunately, we did not have enough time to reissue it to make it effective January 1st. So this was an opportunity that we took to extend it by 3 months to allow us to process the reissue of the RFP.
Okay, is that a written policy?
Not necessarily, but we just felt it was a best practice to do something like that.
Okay, so it was at you guys' discretion?
Yes.
Okay, and only reason I'm saying is that maybe it need to be determined as a written policy or not. There was something that occurred maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Of course, you weren't in the leadership that you are now with the other employees, and there was an organization that we had funded in the past that reached out to me that stated, you know, they had called the county, they were on the normal list to receive, and they did not receive. And at that time, the employees or staff did not want to extend that courtesy. So I've been on the other end of that. So in going forward, I think we should have that as a written policy. If you miss the RFP date for whatever reason, or to implement a recheck to make sure that we have those things going out that should go out to our community partners. We just got to have more dialogue on that. That's kind of my thing. In terms of, we spoke last year about there was going to be some, and Karen and them might want to come up and talk about it, better formula for the utilization was going to be looked at. There was going to be looked at for equitably distribution of resources. That's Director Fletcher that made that statement. So just me and my colleagues would like to know where we are on those things.
Good afternoon, Beverly Torres, Deputy Administrator at DCFS. And I just want to make sure I understand the question. You're looking for more equitable distribution of the funds with the different providers?
Yeah, the
Okay.
utilization form, right before Director Fletcher took office, there was a creation of a utilization form which kind of determined which collabs received what funding.
Yes.
And we felt here on council that it was very inequitable how it was determined and how some of the funding cuts occurred last go-round. So Director Fletcher stated at, like I said, November 22nd, 2023, that she was going to look at the equitable distribution of resources and how the formula for the utilization.
Thank you for clarifying. Yes. Part of the new RFP and contract process is going to include a more detailed description of deliverables to determine outcomes related to the funding that's going to be attached to the different providers. I think it needed to be developed a little bit more so that we could get a better understanding of the amount of funds that were actually being utilized and services were being delivered to our clients. So that's what we've been focusing on over the last couple of months when issuing out this RFP, because we understand that need. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Based on the current allocation of funds, can you share with us how the spending patterns were? That was for the 2023.
I will be 100% honest, I do not have that in front of me. I wish I did, but I don't. I am sorry, but it can be shared if that's what's requested.
Okay, and also if you could send copies of the 2023 utilization reports.
Yes.
For us to look at, you can send them to the clerk or Levine.
Yes, I will.
Were there any additional dollars allocated and during this contract year, and which agency received them?
I don't
Yeah,
believe so,
Marco's
yes.
question.
No, we have not added any additional funding to these contracts throughout the year.
Okay. Any questions from my colleagues?
Yes,
Councilman
I have
Miller.
What is the contemplated length of time, start date and end date for the RFP?
For the new contracts?
Yes, please.
Generally, I'd have to look at it, but generally we do a 2-year contract, and then we include some option years, probably 2-year options to extend those, so we're not having to do an RFP every couple of years.
And are we planning to have the first option end on December 31st so that it would be like 1 year and 9 months so that we stay on a calendar year basis?
We like to keep them on a calendar year basis. This contract actually has functioned at points from a March 1st start frame, or actually April 1st through a March 31st start frame in the past. We've moved it 2 calendar years, but for this purpose, we're starting again, in the second quarter. But, there are, benefits to doing it either way. If we want to end on December 31st, it allows for programs to plan better for the year. But if we end it, in the first quarter of the following year, it gives us more time to process contracts and get payments made. But generally, we keep it to the calendar year.
Okay, thank you.
I think we had a committee on that discussion at one time, and I thought it was determined that it was better for the calendar year, but we will see how this works. Levine will be reaching out to you and David to talk about this this RFP date. Any other questions? All right. Since we are opening up, you're opening up the whole RFP again?
It's already open.
Okay, so we're opening up again. So have you thought about if you should happen to receive more requests, how that's going to affect financially the other ones? Has there been any discussion that more money is going to be put into the pot?
I mean, I've thought about it myself, but I don't make those decisions. It's probably a question for Director Fletcher.
Well, seeing no other questions or any other comments, we will, we're on a time crunch. We will move this forward. You're probably going to ask for second reading.
I am not. Nope. Can go 3 full readings.
All right, and so we'll do that. So I'll move that R2024-0423 be moved to the full council under second reading. And just on that thought, are you sure? Because I see that
So this
it's
will,
supposed to be, the contracts are supposed to be effective 1/1. It won't impact anyway.
no, the last meeting is December 3rd, so that's the third
You
reading.
got enough time?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, moved by Conwell, seconded by Miller. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, if you can read the next item into the record.
Resolution 2024-0424, making awards to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $5,330,000 for family-centered support services for at-risk children and families for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026.
Marcos Cortez again, on behalf of Children and Family Services. The Family-Centered Support Services Program is offered to at-risk and/or multi-system involved families. An array of intensive in-home family support services that will result in safer, more stable environment and improved family functioning. These services are delivered in the home, and the objectives are to, among them, prevent out-of-home placement for youth, improve family and youth functioning, reduce involvement in the juvenile court system. Some of the support services that these providers will be delivering include high-fidelity wraparound services, family preservation services, evidence-based therapy, parenting programs, and specialized case management. We did issue an RFP for these services back in June, and it closed on June 26th specifically, and it closed on July 29th, and we are making an award to 11 vendors. Again, we have Karen Storman here who can answer any programmatic questions. I can answer any process questions.
Were there any funds left over from this contract list?
From the current contract?
From the current.
I'd have to see, but as far as I know, a majority of the funding has been expended.
And let Levine know if there was any funds left over. Any other questions? Councilman Miller?
Yes, I have one. Just if you could say a little bit about how people who are to receive these services are referred and how are they chosen and who's eligible.
I'll ask Karen Storman to come up and answer that.
Good afternoon, Karen Storman, Division of Children and Family Services. Councilman Miller, through the chair. These services are identified when a family presents to Children and Family Services. And so we procure what we feel would best meet the needs of our community. These services are geared towards prevention of further system involvement. reunification of children with their families and the like. And so if a family is identified and working with our system, their identified case manager would refer through our office, and we would then connect them to the community-based providers in which we are presenting for today's approval. The providers offer a variety of different services, so it would depend on what the family needs at that moment in time. It could be parenting, it could be family supportive services and things like that. So it is an internal referral process, and then we connect the family with that service provider.
And are these typically families where we have not yet had to take custody, but they do have problems?
Councilman Miller, through the chair, correct. These, the majority of these services focus on our families receiving in-home services and with the goal of preventing out-of-home care or placement.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, seeing that you need the second reading suspension?
We do not.
Right.
3 readings.
I'll make a motion to move R2024-0424 to the full council under second reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Conwell, seconded by Turner. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Right, Madam Clerk, if you can read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0425, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for a Cuyahoga Options for Independent Living Services program for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025, for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $600,000.
Okay, hold, Marcos. Yes, Councilman Miller.
For that last item, could I please have my name added?
Yes.
And mine as well.
Thank you very much.
Right, can you add the committee's name?
Yes,
Madam
thank you.
Clerk? Thank
Yes.
you. All right, Marcos.
Okay, Marcos Cortez again. Again, this is a master amendment to a master contract for the Options program. Options provides in-home services to seniors and adults with disabilities living in Cuyahoga County who need assistance with larger household chores, medical emergency response services, grab bar installation, homemaking assistance, home-delivered meal, and assistance with personal care and/or transportation for medical-related appointments. The overall goal of the Options program is to extend the amount of time a client is able to reside at home before requiring more intensive services. Again, the goals are to prevent self-determination, to provide subsidized services to clients so they can remain safely and comfortably in their home. We have Director Natasha Petricola and Cynthia Mason from the Division of Senior and Adult Services, again, who can answer any questions related to the program.
Thank you. Director? A few quick questions. I know we met briefly a couple of months ago. February 5th, 2024, you received a grant for $600,000. I'm under the impression that there could possibly be a deficit. So can you provide us with budget projections for next year in 2025? And how will the options program be impacted? The family service aides, I think, are a needed part of this contract, and just want to ask, were there some cuts in that area because of the deficit?
So Natasha Petricola, Director of the Division of Senior and Adult Services. We received the Healthy Aging Grant from the Ohio Department of Aging. That was $3.9 million that we spent every penny of. $499,000 of that went to options to supplement some of the shortfalls that we had. There were about 8 to 10 providers included in that, so we made up for some of the deficit with meals so that we did not have to cut any meals, and for homemaking services. This additional $600,000 that's being provided to us will be spent in the same fashion. It'll ensure that we have enough meals to last us throughout the year for the programs. Meals is definitely one of the largest areas that we have to supplement and pay for. It costs a tremendous amount of money of that $4.8 million budget, the master contract. So right now, we have forecasted that we'll be capping the program to 2,000 clients. We've reached that goal today, so we will start a waiting list to enter more people in the options program as people fall off, whether they have qualified at one point in time for more substantial services through Medicaid and CareSource and programs like that, or if they have to enter a more restrictive setting, we will then supplement people off that waiting list and put them into the options programs. But we've capped it at 2,000. That just happened this week. We know that next year, based on projections, we will not have the additional dollars from the Healthy Aging Grant, and we will not have this additional $600,000. So we've already planned to limit meals to 5 meals per week, 1 per day for clients. So that will be a change. Currently, we have people on our waiting list for homemaking and personal care. There are about 500 people on that waiting list. We do try to supplement that with some of our family service aides that we do employ. We've kind of fluctuated between fully staffed and not fully staffed. Right now, we are not fully staffed. We have capacity for 28. We have about 24 working aides. They try to see 3 clients per day. And right now, our homemakers, our family service aides are seeing 148 options clients. So we will make some changes for next year to kind of stretch out the budget that we do have to work within. But this money has helped us this year get through the rest of the year without any cuts to clients.
The Healthy Aging Grant actually helped supplement your, and that was 3.6 or 3.9?
It was a total of $3.9 million, and we took $499,000 of that and put it into the options program. And that was predominantly for homemaking services, personal care, and for food, home-delivered meals.
Okay, and so now, after we've spent down the 3.9, we're adding an additional 6, right?
3.9 all didn't go towards the option. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So, say roughly probably 500,000 in this 6, so that's $1.1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
So that's a lot better. So $1.1 million is definitely, we know going forward, it's a deficit for 2025. You have enough funds to get you to the end of this year?
We will. We'll be fine this year. We'll start.
Without the capping or with the capping?
That is without the capping. We will begin the capping. We're forecasting that now. We're going to start working on it now, let our providers know and let our clients know, so there aren't any surprises in January of 2025.
All right, any questions from my colleague, Councilman Miller?
Yes. How many meals are currently provided to seniors per week?
Well, we did a total, we do of meals. We have 1,518 of our 2,000 clients that receive meals. And they're receiving up to 3 meals per day, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some receive 2 meals a day, and that would be 5 days a week or 7 days based on need.
And you're saying starting in January, it's only going to be 1 meal a day?
Yes, we'll provide every client that 1518 number, 5 meals per week.
So that's a major cutback.
It's definitely a change. Yes, it is.
We got to try to fix that problem.
We do.
All right, Councilwoman Turner, you have any questions? Okay, and for the meals, those are the home-provided meals that we're doing?
they are.
That has nothing to do with the senior?
That's not the congregate meals that
And
we fund
that's
all
it?
the centers through
Okay.
CSSP. No, those are not those
And that's if the
programs.
senior chooses to go?
That's if they chooses to go, yeah, if they choose to go to the center.
Any other questions or comments you guys Is this second reading or
This
three?
one, we would ask for second reading suspension.
Suspension. All right. I'll make a motion to move R2024-0425 to the full council under second reading suspension. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Conwell, seconded by, I heard Miller. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, if you can read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0428, authorizing an amendment to a contract with the Salvation Army for supportive services for homeless men in the Pickup Assessment Sheltering Service Transitional Housing Program for the period October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2025, to make budget line item revisions and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $800,101, effective October 1st, 2024.
All right.
Good af-
Welcome, Director.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Council.
I just want to say we have, I think, 4 more to get through in less than 15 minutes.
All
So
right.
We're going to move a little
I
quicker.
will move it right along. Good afternoon, Council. I'm Melissa Serac, Director of the Office of Homeless Services, requesting this amendment with the Salvation Army for emergency shelter and rapid rehousing. Salvation Army operates the Pickup Assessment Sheltering Service Program, which provides temporary housing, rapid rehousing, and recovery support services to homeless men. The overarching goal of the PASS program is for the men to obtain permanent housing through the utilization of an individualized Housing First case management plan. This plan focuses on leveraging local resources and HUD rapid rehousing funds to transition homeless men into permanent placement. In the essence of time, I'll end by noting that this amendment is late. We did not receive the HUD agreement until September, and the funds were appropriated in October. With me today, I have Executive Director Bo Hill to address any additional questions that you might have.
Okay, Bo, you know I usually allow you to speak, but we're moving for in time. I just want to ask both of you, were there any changes with the previous contract other than, you know, the extension of the time?
Madam Chair, no.
Can you state your name for the record, please? Thank you.
I apologize. My name is Bo Hill, B-E-A-U Hill, Salvation Army.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bo. Any questions from my colleagues? Seeing none, hearing none. Do you need this director's second reading suspension?
That would be appreciated.
All right, I move R2024-0428 to this full council under second reading suspension. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Conwell, seconded by Turner. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you. You know, Bo, I usually give you time. Madam Clerk, if you could read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0429, making awards with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $4 million for operating support of Department of Housing and Urban Development approved permanent housing services for the period July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2026.
Melissa Serac, Director of the Office of Homeless Services, once again requesting this master contract for permanent supportive housing and operations. The Office of Homeless Services used an approved alternative procurement to make funding awards to Housing First agencies in Cuyahoga County that offer PSH for chronically homeless single adults and high barrier homeless persons. This funding was identified in 2021 to cover gaps in PSH services and operations due to limited HUD funding. PSH is grounded in the Housing First initiative, which was established in 2004 with the goal of ending chronic homelessness in the country. The model focuses on working with those who are experiencing the highest barriers to stabilization, including those struggling with severe mental illness, substance abuse, seniors, and veterans. OHS is entering into a master contract with 5 agencies, including Eden, Inc., Famicos, Front Steps, Humility Mary of Housing, Inc., Frontline Service, and the YWCA of Greater Cleveland. With me today, I have several of the providers for any additional questions that you might have.
Hi. Any changes in the contract, Director?
No specific changes. I think it's important to note, and I can't believe I left this out, that we worked very intensely over the last year with Enterprise Community Partners, as well as Tom Albany's consulting company, to do an RFI, request for information, and really truly analyze our permanent supportive housing. This has not been done since that model was established in our community. And with that came with further looking and fine-tuning budgets, looking at the services that we're offering within the community to hopefully bring a standard
equitably across all of our programs, amongst all of the organizations and the buildings that we currently have, and most importantly, to forecast out what is needed in regards to additional operational dollars, as well as the much-needed capital love that the buildings need since this program has been implemented. So that is the reason for the lateness, and that would be the change in the contract. Next year, we'll further go into that and look deeper and have more intentional awards as well.
Questions from my colleagues?
Please add my name.
Right, please add my name as well. Kim Meddy. All right. Anything further on this? Do you need second reading suspension?
That would be respectfully requested, yes.
All right.
Thank you, Continuum Partners.
Thank you. You know, I usually give y'all time. I apologize. I never had this much on my committee at one time. R2024-0429 to the full council under second reading suspension. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, moved by Conwell, seconded by Turner. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, Madam Clerk, if you can read the next item into the record, please.
Resolution 2024-0430, making an award to Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry in the amount not to exceed $3,108,549 for joint transition and rapid housing project services in connection with the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025.
Melissa Serac, Director of the Office of Homeless Services, requesting a contract with Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry for a contract for joint transitional housing, permanent supportive housing for young adults. If you'll indulge me for a moment, this is a new award that came to Office Homeless Services, so I'd like to share some background and context. OHS received a grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Youth Homeless Demonstration Program to propose new approaches to drastically reduce the number of youth experiencing homelessness, including unaccompanied, pregnant, and parenting youth. Awarded YHDP communities must develop a coordinated community plan to lay the groundwork for YHDP implementation and provide a framework for proposed YHDP projects. Reaching for new heights, the Cuyahoga CCP identified a joint transitional housing, rapid rehousing project as a funding priority. Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry was chosen as the lead agency for the RRH project, which offers supportive services, safe and stable crisis housing, and permanent housing for young adults 18 to 24 years of age who are experiencing or at risk of homelessness. LMM will provide housing and property liaison services and partner with Family Promise of Greater Cleveland and Frontline Service as subrecipients to provide specialized case management. This project will bridge the gap between short-term and long-term housing assistance, facilitate youth choice in meeting their housing needs, and provide resources that may not immediately be accessible to youth experiencing homelessness. Youth and young adults will receive personalized case management, including support with finding and maintaining housing, education and career resources, and independent living skills. The transitional housing component will provide short to medium-term rental assistance and supportive services for an average of 6 months in a scattered site setting. The rapid rehousing component will provide rental assistance and supportive services for an average of 12 months, as well as aftercare and rental assistance needs to increase likelihood of maintaining that housing. This project will serve a minimum of 75 households each year. Lastly, I'll note that this contract is late as well. Since this project type is new to the COC, as I mentioned, it took us quite additional time to work with HUD and HUD's technical assistance to ensure all components of the proposed project met the grant requirements that were being expected of us. And this was not complete until March of 2024, at which point we were able to move forward with program development with LMM, but then came to learn from HUD that a grant amendment was needed after the fact, and that was not approved until late September. So we're excited to get this project going. With me today, I have Michael Searing and Aaron Cray from Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry to answer any additional questions on this exciting work.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Councilman Miller, do you have any questions?
Yes, my question is, given the late start, do you think you will be able to spend $3,108,549 by 12/31/2025?
Through the chair to Councilman Miller, I love your attention to detail. That will be a challenge for us. We have kept HUD apprised in this process. The good news is we just wrapped up the 2024 NOFO, and this grant will be automatically renewed. So in essence, we're kind of resetting, and they've given us some grace over the first year, but we are going to work to spend as much money as we possibly can to help the young adults in our system.
And Madam Chair, Director, do you think we're going to be able to receive this funding on a continuing basis?
I believed, Councilman, due to the strength of our application, scoring extremely high as we do annually as an office nationwide on the HUD-NOFO, I do believe that these are going to be strong dollars coming in continually.
Great, okay, thank you.
Moving this along, second reading suspension? Director? Second
Yes,
reading?
please.
Okay. R2024-0430, I move it to the full council under second reading suspension. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Conwell, seconded by Miller. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, Madam Clerk.
Please add my name.
Thank you. Please add Councilman Miller's name.
And Turner.
Turner and Conwell. All right. Read the next item into the record, the last one.
Resolution 2024-0431, making an award to Oriana House Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,737,594 for administration and operational services for the Neighborhood Reentry Resource Center for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027.
Marcos Cortez again with Health and Human Services on behalf of the Office of Reentry. Again, this is a contract with the Oriana House to operate our Neighborhood Reentry Resource Center. The Resource Center provides accessible, high-quality services to formerly incarcerated individuals and their families, which will lead to successful integration into the community. Services will be provided in a safe space for participants to access information, find needed community resources, and participate in supportive group programming, which may include family reunification, employment and training, case management, substance abuse treatment, child support, and custody services, and legal assistance. We did issue an RFP for these services on September 4th, and it closed October 4th. The RFP actually had two requests, one for the main Neighborhood Resource Center and another one for a satellite center. Providers could respond to one or the other, or both. Oriana was the only respondent for the main neighborhood center, and we received 3 responses for the satellite centers. However, we are only making an award to Oriana to operate the main reentry resource center. We will have to reissue another RFP for the satellite centers. We have Director Simeon Best and Marcus Bell here from the Office of Reentry. You can better answer any questions related to the program. We also have Mike Randall and Stephanie DeVincent from Oriana House.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, so Director Best would be the better one to reach out to while we drop the other satellite.
So we did receive 3 responses, but none of those responses scored high enough to merit an award. So we wanted to reissue it to try to get a better pool of providers to respond.
So Director Best would be the one to
Yes.
have that conversation with. We're on a time crunch. Any questions? Do you want this second reading suspension?
No, this can go 3 full readings.
So I'll move R2024-0431 to the full council under second reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's moved by Conwell, and I heard Turner, and seconded by Turner. See, even my clock is telling me it's time to stop. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Madam Chair, please add my name.
Please add Turner.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
of our names. Thank you very much. And just want to say, before we get off of the record, Director Best will be reaching out to you, me and Levine, to have this conversation of why the change. All right?
And Madam Chair, I just want to say that you did a phenomenal job of managing a large agenda in a short time frame.
1 minute to spare. This meeting is adjourned. I did it.
Did a phenomenal